Something interesting happened. Yesterday, the person here was to take me out so that I can get the food at certain time. But there was a misunderstanding. She thought it's not yesterday afternoon, but the next day. But my memory says something different. So I was confused. Then I came up with some idea later. I don't want to be in the confused state. So when I was sleeping, idea popped up to solve the problem at the root level, which is, why don't I have the food delivery instead of asking someone and make arrangements so that there's no need for that confusion. And that was the solution. So that won't disturb this person as much as me. Everything is good. Then later, another idea popped up. I'm staying at this Zen temple. Next year, I may want to come back. And for now, I have an idea that I can come back here as well as go up to the North Shore. So the new idea is that instead of the current arrangement, which is I have a bicycle that I drive, and from this Zen temple I can go out, but it's too far for the picking up of the food. So delivery is fine, but what if I have a car? Then I can solve the problem. But it's not just that. I can solve the problem of my coming back to Hawaii and go to North Shore and then to the Zen temple without taking a bus and making all the arrangement. Arrangement include when I come back, I have my goods at the cousins and I need to have a bicycle, and all that arrangement is not that simple. And then moving that to North Shore, taking bus is not that simple, as well as coming back to the Zen temple is not that simple. So I thought, why don't I buy a car? Because I may be staying in Hawaii more than 6 months. This is related to my visa situation. And if I have a car, and if I know a place to keep the car, make some arrangement, then I can solve this logistic problem. So it sounds like a long story, but one event of not getting this food arrangement done in a smooth way triggered kind of chain reaction, and then bottom line of it is that, okay, I can even buy a car when I have money, and if I have a car, then I can set up everything so the next time I come, instead of going to the cousin's house and the bicycle and all that, everything may be in the car and stored somewhere. Where to store somewhere is another question, but that sounds like a good idea, because with that, I don't have to go this arrangement, logistic problems, the bus and traveling back and forth. So not just saving time, and also not causing some trouble for others, like my cousin, to keep my goods, I can store them in my car and have a place somewhere. And if so, if I buy the car while I'm here in the next couple of months, then I can set up. Next time I come back, I'm ready to go. Not only that, I have a situation in California that I have some goods there. So typically I went around from California to New Zealand, to Japan, to Hawaii and California. But now the needs to be in California is reduced. And just having some goods, because of the arrangement I had before with my friend, has changed. So there's a benefit of shipping the container amount of goods, which is not a very large amount, but there's important books and even the bicycle that I can ship. I don't know the cost of it, but I need, if I can deliver the goods from California to Hawaii, because I may be staying more than 6 months a year. So the California can be free, nothing there. On top of it, because of the situation changing in California, I had a divorce and the goods are getting less to store. I used to have a car, but it's gone. So everything is cleaned up. And since California situation is not like in the past, I wanted to find a new place, which turned out to be Hawaii. So this chain reaction caused interesting solution to pop up, just triggering this food delivery or going to buy a food to restructure my life in this manner. So inconvenience can be convenient. So that's the main insight I had in the last 16 hours or something. One trigger to the next event, and then during the night I thought like that. Idea popped up. So I was excited. Then I thought about the talk I had with the person who is like a Roshi in the Zen temple, and that's about the koan. And in the koan first meeting, she asked me, "Who are you?" I said, "I don't know." And I asked her, "Who are you?" She said she doesn't know. Long story short, this koan exercise is an exercise of how you go beyond the conventional thinking, but come up with wisdom or awakened state. And if you are in the awakened state, you can solve the koan. And that asking me, do I know myself, or asking her, "Who are you?" And she said she didn't know. There's a famous story of Bodhidharma coming from India to China. And then this person who is a king, who was very devoting himself for the spreading of Buddhism, asked, "Who are you?" And Bodhidharma said, "I don't know." So when this person asked me, she's not Roshi, but she's in the position to have this dokusan, which is a meeting of the Zen student with the priest, so to speak, or the teacher. So that's the internal discussion only happen in that room. No other people will be engaged or know anything about, so that freely we can talk about and be in a situation to explore the way for enlightenment or awakening. So that question, when I was asked, "Who are you?" I immediately knew, well, I don't know. It's a good answer from that point of view of Bodhidharma, the story. But experientially, I have that thought. So there's another priest I was talking maybe about 10 days ago. There was another dokusan meeting one-to-one, and there's a discussion very similar to that. So without getting into it more in detail, those two priests know with each other, and they may have some sense of how Zen koan takes place. So I was in the middle of it, and I dealt both of them, the first one and the second one. So they have some, if I can call, the level of understanding what the Zen is and the koan is. So that is an interesting setting that I realize happening in this state. Only first less than 2 weeks I'm here, but I'm starting to get to know them and figure out how I may stay in this Zen temple and have those dokusan, conversation going. So to me that's interesting, and maybe I close this with this story. That this morning, as I woke up and I was doing the Tai Chi exercise, and I saw ants moving slowly, or maybe a little bit faster. And this is a bigger one, but they don't bite. And as I watched, I felt very friendly with the ant. That sounds like a stupid story by itself, but the lady priest that I talked to, she was mentioning about the ants in that talk in dokusan, meeting one-to-one, just two of us. And I said, ants, I like them. And she was surprised. And the reason why I liked it is that when I moved in here and seeing the ants, I didn't know what to do. In Vipassana, 10-day course that we attend, we don't kill any living being. Ants, of course, not. So I was watching the ants, what can be done? So long story short again, I wanted to coexist with ants, so that I'm finding a way, and so far everything is working out. So the point of this talk is we may get into some difficult situation, sometimes misunderstanding. Actually, there was another one that I remember. That was the talk I had with the GPT. When I was on the talk with GPT, and whatever reason, I found that the file which says video description 5 had the information, but the whole information, there may be 12 talks in there captured in the video. different videos altogether, 12 of them, was gone. And I was panicking, that's important information, and GPT was trying to help. In the meantime, what I found actually prior to that is that on YouTube, there are 3 videos, and I put the description in there, and everything seemed to be working. But later, I found those descriptions are gone. So that's the reason why I was checking this video description number 5 to see if I can still reproduce it. That's when I found that the information was gone. So that caused the trouble. What do I do? So GPT was helping me, and we could resolve it because GPT could get back to the memory somewhere and reconstruct so that I can get the information back to YouTube. So everything looks good, but this problem was a concern, and the GPT thought that's the glitch in the system, this kind of things happen. But in this case, what I figured out later, which is like maybe 15 minutes ago, is that when I was posting the description on YouTube, and I see the image and the description in there, so I wanted to go back to the different screen. I clicked on it so that I can go back to the other screen in YouTube. But it said at the time, if you don't do anything, what it said is that if it's okay, if you move it, this whole information may be lost. Of course, I don't want the information to be lost, but there's no way out whether you can say okay or not, or something like that. So I was in rushing, but I see on screen that even though it says it may erase, but I could move out of it without erasing. Just forcefully get out of the screen. And later I checked and it was there in the YouTube, that description I was talking about. But those are the 3 videos that I confirmed that everything is okay, but I kept doing the same process of jumping off or ignoring the caution. So what happened apparently is that the YouTube decided I cannot, if I don't click or wait to have the description done, but forcefully get out of it, it caused trouble. I wasn't sure because I couldn't figure out how to get out because it's taking so much time. So forcibly getting out of it apparently caused the problem. But the screen showed the previous state, which everything was there. So I assumed everything was there. But later it was gone. So there's a time lag of how those operation takes place on the YouTube side. Whatever happened on the YouTube side then triggered, I'm sure, the erasing of the videos in the GPT side. How the connection is made, I don't know, because the GPT side should be kept the information, but later it was gone. So there's a time lag because this GPT information, video description 5, after talking this and that, it's gone, but sometime later it popped up again, like a delay happen. So between the data center of GPT, where it processed this description, to Gemini's YouTube data center, there's an event that goes back and forth, and that must have caused the problem. So that's what I figured out. The point is that there's a relationship of how the problem happens, but if you know it by being in samadhi, you can solve the problem. Thank you.